Welcome to Hope with Jonathan podcast, where we share stories of hope. My name is Jonathan Traylor. I'm a 15-month kidney transplant recipient who faced a near-death experience back in July of 2019. I had a lot of different symptoms: chronic fatigue, swollen ankles, couldn't breathe very well, and really nauseated. And I stayed in the bed for days of what I thought was fighting the flu. No, it wasn't. It was complete kidney failure, guys. Stage 5 ESRD. Within a few days, they removed about 30 pounds of fluid, and I had to ride in a helicopter to get dialysis treatment to save my life. Listen, guys, we now try to educate people, inspire, and motivate through the power of sharing your warrior story. If you like stories like this, stay tuned. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a Hope Media production. Never let hope become a memory. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a Hope Media production.
Hope with Jonathan is created as an informational, educational, and entertainment show. Hope with Jonathan hosts, guests, partners provide information on the basis of research and personal experiences, and is not to be taken as or implied as diagnosis of any disease or treatment. Hope with Jonathan, its host and guests and partners, recommend and encourage you to speak to your medical team before implementing any treatment or diagnosis found on this show or any product, service associated to Hope with Jonathan.
Hey guys, welcome to Hope with Jonathan. I'm your host, Jonathan Traylor. I'm a kidney transplant recipient who utilizes his story to share stories of hope, guys. Listen, guys, tonight we have an excellent show for you guys. I hope you guys are ready for this one. We've got a kidney dietitian, CKD health coach from Instagram, guys, right here on Hope with Jonathan tonight, guys. I'm really excited about this. I believe she's actually CKD nutrition coach is who she is on Instagram, guys. But listen, guys, tonight, guys, we have a very special guest, Kellsey Reed, guys, and I'm really excited to bring her on. We're going to talk about the importance of eating fruit while following the renal diet. And as you guys know, the fruit is an excellent source of essential vitamins and minerals, and they are high in fiber. Fruits are also provide a wide range of health boosting antioxidants, including flavonoids. Eating a diet high in fruits and vegetables can reduce a person's risk of developing heart disease, cancer, inflammation, and diabetes. So just some health tips there from Hope with Jonathan. But hey, guys, I really appreciate all the support for the show. Hope you guys are doing well this evening. I am doing a lot better from my COVID ordeal. And we've got some people watching tonight. Uncle Jim Myers. Thanks, Uncle Jim Myers, for watching. Shane Blanchard. Appreciate you watching. And we got Debbie Rabjohn. So thanks again for watching. Thanks again, guys. All the support for Hope with Jonathan is much appreciated. Always appreciate you guys. And guys, tonight I'm not going to waste a lot of time. We're going to get right into our show tonight. And welcome to our show, Kellsey Reed, guys. Welcome.
Shake it, baby.
Hey, Kellsey, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jonathan, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk with everyone about fruit tonight. That's one of my favorite topics besides vegetables, so it's super exciting for me.
Absolutely. No problem at all. We've had you on the show before, and you know, it's just been always incredible. Lots of great information shared. And tonight we wanted to kind of focus on fruit and the importance of fruit when following the renal diet or our kidney diet. Some people call it a kidney diet. Kellsey, why is it important for kidney patients to remember the importance of fruit?
Yeah, that's a great question. I see a lot of people with kidney disease, whether they're on dialysis or not on dialysis, who are really just scared of fruit. And it's so normal to feel that way because a lot of times they're told no bananas, no tomatoes, no avocados, no oranges. And so it's completely normal to be scared of eating those things. But those fruits can fit into a healthy kidney-friendly diet, into a healthy renal diet. Fruit is so important for your overall health. You named a lot of reasons why it's important, but fruit have so many benefits. There's antioxidants, there's fiber, there are vitamins and minerals besides potassium in fruits that are so helpful for your overall health status. Fiber is the really big one though, because fiber helps so many different aspects of your health. Fiber helps with your blood sugar control. So if you have a history of diabetes or you have a glucose imbalance or insulin resistance, then having lots of fiber in your diet can definitely help control your blood sugars better. Fiber also helps with lowering your cholesterol as well as controlling your blood pressure. So you have two major things right there that can contribute to kidney disease. So if you're getting in lots of fiber, that lowers your risk for further progression of your kidney disease and further progression of your diabetes and high blood pressure. So that is why fruit is just so important for overall kidney health.
No, absolutely. And I think, like we mentioned before, backstage, a lot of people hear the word like potassium and they get scared right away because they're like, oh no, I can't have that at all. Pertaining to bananas and things like that. So, I think what we trying to do tonight is kind of dismiss some of the myths. So what are some common myths when you're talking about fruit and following the renal diet?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, the number one myth that I hear is that you can't have bananas on a renal diet. And you know what? That's just not true. So, bananas are really high in potassium. They're about 420 milligrams of potassium from one banana, which in the grand scheme of your day can be a lot if you're on a restricted potassium diet. So, I always say if you love bananas, have half a banana each day so that you're not getting in as much potassium, but you're still satisfying that craving for your bananas. That's probably the number one myth that I hear. The other myth that I hear is that everyone on a renal diet or on a kidney diet has to restrict potassium. And that, again, is not true. So I get tons of comments on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook saying, I can't have those things. They're too high in potassium. And my number one response is, well, are you sure you need a potassium restriction? And I always recommend you check with your doctor, check with your dietitian to make sure that you, in fact, do need that potassium restriction, because a lot of the times you actually don't. And that's why looking at your labs is so important too. So I always recommend doing that before you start to limit your potassium, like the bananas and the other fruits that are higher in potassium. So those are probably the two top myths that I hear.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, when you hear like words like, potassium, and it could cause problems with like your heart and things like that, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And especially a person here, my potassium actually reached a really high score and caused me to, go into an emergency kidney failure and all that stuff. So, it is kind of a scary thing when you have words like, potassium, and they associate it with heart issue, cardiovascular type things that can happen to you. So what are some good types of fruits that we should be looking at when we're going to the grocery store?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for anyone on a kidney diet, on a renal diet, I always recommend some of the lower potassium fruits so that, you don't have to stress about it. You know that you can fit those into your diet, whether you're on a potassium restriction or not. And that's going to be like apples, grapes, pineapple. Those are some really good ones. I also love recommending like the cuties, the little mandarins, or the little tangerines. Those are a great way to get in some citrus, but you're not going overboard with potassium then. Also, sometimes canned fruits like fruit cocktail can be a really good option if maybe you don't see any fresh fruit that you like and you just want to get in some fruit for the day. Getting that fruit cocktail in, or maybe some canned pineapple or canned peaches, can be a lower potassium option for you.
Awesome information. Yeah, I mean, you can spend a lot of time. My grocery store. I live in Texas, so we have HEB, which is like an amazing grocery store. They have fruits there that I have never tried or seen before, and I guess in some of them come international, like from Mexico and places like that. So, but what about people that just don't like fruit? How can you encourage patients to try fruit and incorporate that in their diet?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I do experience a lot of people that don't particularly like a lot of fruits, and that's perfectly fine. I always recommend you at least try them once, just to make sure, because your taste buds change over time. You probably remember something that you didn't like when you were younger, and now you absolutely love it. So give it another shot and see how you feel about it. One of the best ways to get in fruit so that you can't really taste it a whole lot is in a smoothie. So a lot of times I'll recommend adding like some things to kind of hide the taste, like maybe some honey or some little bit of maple syrup or a little bit of sweetness, maybe some different flavors of like milk, like vanilla almond milk or chocolate almond milk, something like that, or even like peanut butter or almond butter, so that you're not exactly tasting that fruit. A lot of the more bland fruits are going to be like apples, bananas. Those are probably a good type of fruit to stick into your smoothie. Same thing with berries, pineapple. Those are going to be things that you're not really going to taste a whole lot of, and you can kind of hide that taste if you don't necessarily like it and still get the benefits of those fruits.
A smoothie sounds awesome right now.
Yeah.
So, but no, those are great ideals, because I know a lot of people some people just don't like fruit. And then, this could be another show, but some people don't like vegetables either. So
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So,
I see that more often than the fruit, but
yeah.
also I think a lot of people, think that they need to have so much variety in their diet, which can be really helpful if you like that. But if you only like 1 or 2 fruits, you don't have to have any more than that. You can just eat those 1 to 2 fruits every single day, and you're still going to get those healthful benefits from those fruits. All fruits have fiber in them, and all fruits have those beneficial vitamins and minerals in them. So if you only like pineapple and bananas and you only want to eat those the rest of your life, that's perfectly fine.
Awesome. Yeah, I think my go-to when I was following the Renal Diet really strictly was apples. I ate a lot of apples. I ate a lot of pineapples, things like that. But I stayed away from the bananas. Had I known, maybe I could have probably dabbled in a banana every now and again. I probably would have eaten a banana. But I give up bananas for the whole time I was on dialysis. And you probably hear that a lot. Especially associating potassium and things like that. What are some good staple foods that are quick and easy to find in a grocery store, such as apples?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the number one is always apples. That's always my go-to for people, because they're also really versatile. Like you can have apples and peanut butter. You can have apples with like a yogurt dip or something like that. You can put apples in a juice or a smoothie. So that's a great thing to do. The other one that you're always going to find is some type of citrus. So oranges, grapefruit, those are going to be a little higher in potassium. But like I said, those mandarins you're always going to find those in the stores usually. Same with grapes, like year-round grapes are a great option. Pineapple, not always the best staple, but go for the canned pineapple. And that's a great option as well. And then the other one is berries. That one's tough because they're not in season year round. So I always recommend, if you really want those berries, just get frozen, because they're the same quality as the fresh berries, maybe even a little bit fresher. And then you're going to get them year round.
That's awesome tips. You can also, freeze berries as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And berries would also be good in a smoothie as well.
Yes. And that's always like blueberries or strawberries in a smoothie. That's a great low potassium way to get in some fruit.
Yeah. You talked about peanut butter. That's another. I love peanut butter. So apples and peanut butter. I'll tell you, this show is making me hungry already. Talking about smoothies, and apples and peanut butter.
I have some orange slices here for when we're done, because I want to get in my fruit for the day too. So
I hear you. So when we're talking about consuming fruit, how much fruit should we be consuming a day as a kidney patient?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you've probably heard me talk about a plant-based diet before. That is a great idea if you have kidney disease. And really what plant-based means, it means just getting in more fruits and veggies and more plant foods throughout the day. So my recommendation to start off with is always trying to get in a fruit at each meal and each snack. So if you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe 1 snack a day, that's about 4 servings of fruit. The recommendation is around 5 servings a day. So if you can, let's say for breakfast, get in 2 fruits, then 1 fruit with your other meals and snacks. That's a great way to get in that recommended amount. And it can be as simple as an apple for breakfast, maybe with half a cup of pineapple, and then an orange for lunch, some berries for dinner, and maybe you have some cherries for dessert. So
Okay.
it can be as simple as that.
There you go. Is there a way to sneak fruit in, like for people like we were talking about before, people that don't like fruit? Is there a
Mhm.
way to like sneak fruit into a meal or mix something
Mhm.
into a meal that for the ones that just cannot stand to even look at a piece of fruit?
Yeah, and that's a really good point. If you feel like I just can't eat fruit, I just can't do it, I can't do it by itself. Some good ways to sneak it in. Number one, smoothie is always a good way. Number two, oatmeal is a really good way to get in fruit. If you stir in fresh fruit or frozen fruit into your oatmeal, it gets warm. It gets a little almost like a compote, like a sauce. So it makes it gives it a really nice flavor. But then you're not necessarily eating the fruit itself, so it can kind of hide it a little bit. Another way is trying to get it in like a chili or a stew. So, for example, I know some people put peaches or pineapple in their chili, which I know it sounds really interesting. I've never tried it, but
Mm-hmm.
it gives it a little sweet taste.
Mm-hmm.
And my personal favorite is in stir fry. I love adding pineapple because it gives it a little like sweet and savory kind of vibe
Yeah.
with that dish.
Intensify.
Mhm.
Intensify the flavor. I could taste that now in some good stir fry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, these are some really, really great tips. Really awesome. Um, for ones that are interested in like some recipes with fruit,
Mhm.
where could we find some good recipes that people can incorporate fruit with like a meal and things like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I really love, honestly, if I Google like recipes with fruit, one of my favorite websites is Cooking Light. Have you ever heard of that magazine? They also have a website. They do more healthful dishes, so they always try to make their recipes a little bit more healthy, whether it's adding in more fiber or getting in more healthy fat. So, Cooking Light is a great website to use if you're looking for more. They have appetizers, salads, entrees, desserts with different fruit options. And another one that I forgot, salad. That's a great way to get in fruit because it usually tastes really good with dressings like balsamic vinegar or even olive oil on top. So that's another one too.
Yeah.
So check out Cooking Light. That is a great website for healthy recipes.
All right. Cooking light
Mhm.
sounds interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we're talking about eating fruit, there's reasons why we want to eat fruit, and I think one of the reasons could be for gut health. So, how
Mhm.
does fruit affect our gut health?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, as we talked about before, fruit has tons of fiber in it, and fiber is so important for so many aspects of health, but especially gut health because the fiber helps keep our gut healthy. And we know that now through a lot of research, you've probably heard of like the gut brain connection and the gut disease connection. So your gut is really closely related with other organs in your body. And so if your gut is all out of whack, then the assumption is that maybe something else is out of whack too. So keeping your gut healthy can be really important. And now we know fiber is important for gut health because it helps you go to the bathroom regularly. And
Right.
one of the main things that people don't know is that if you're not going to the bathroom regularly and you're, let's say, on dialysis or have a history of a high potassium level, if you're constipated frequently, then your
Mhm.
potassium level can be elevated a lot. So going to the bathroom regularly can actually help control your potassium better too. So that's another benefit of
Yeah.
that fiber for our gut.
Yeah. And as we talked about at the beginning of the show, it also helps fight against cancer. So I'm guessing, things like stomach cancer, things like that, intestinal cancer. So
Yeah.
definitely important to keep that fruit and keep things moving, keep things going along. But, one factor that I know that a lot of kidney patients I battled it when I took renal binders. It would cause a lot of constipation problems. But I think eating fruit could probably help with that. Am I correct?
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of times if you are constipated from those binders, it's totally normal. Unfortunately, it's one of those side effects that comes with taking binders. And if you have fruit, maybe with some water to help kind of flush out the system a little bit, that can really help that constipation dissipate and go away and improve your bowel movement. So I always recommend fiber. Honestly, apples are a great way to help with constipation because the skin has lots of fiber in it too. So you're getting a double whammy there.
Yeah, constipation is something that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but it's a real issue with the kidney patients, especially those that are on dialysis and, with the renal binders and things like that. But appreciate you being open to want to talk about subjects like that. I'm sure it's a question you may hear kind of often.
Oh, yeah. When I worked in the dialysis center, I always asked my patients, how are you pooping? Because I know it's so uncomfortable for some people, but it's so important too. We need to make sure that you're going to the bathroom regularly because you talked about cancer. If you're regularly constipated, that can put you at risk for certain GI cancers like colon cancer and stomach cancer and things like that. So we want to make sure everything's normal down there.
Yeah. And, getting rid of waste and, you're trying to get rid of the phosphorus, the potassium through the waste.
Yeah.
And so if you're not going to the bathroom, your body's retaining that waste. And therefore you can, build up toxins in your body.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another benefit of that fiber is getting rid of those waste products and those toxins a little bit better so that also your kidneys can work a little bit better too.
Yeah. Can fruit improve kidney health?
Yeah. So actually adding more fruits and veggies into your diet can help kidney health. And there are some really, really beneficial compounds that are found in fruits and veggies. Now, one thing that's found in a lot of fruits and veggies is actually something that can help with lowering your phosphorus levels and keeping them normal. So you've probably heard about the different absorption levels of phosphorus. So we know that, plant-based foods don't have a whole lot of phosphorus in them, but the phosphorus that is in them isn't well absorbed in the body because of those natural compounds that are found in those plant-based foods like fruits and veggies. So really, that's why they're so beneficial for kidney health. Also, that fiber, again, can help improve your kidney health because let's say you are someone with high blood pressure or diabetes and you're getting in more fiber every day. That's going to help control your blood pressure and your diabetes more. So in turn, that's going to help control your kidney function more.
Yeah, and as everyone knows, hypertension and type 2 diabetes or diabetes in general are the top leading causes of chronic kidney disease. Diabetes being number one, high blood pressure being number two, but that's definitely something that you want to continue to control, while being a kidney patient because it can definitely affect your kidney health overall. So eating fruit can help with that. It sounds like
Definitely.
So how important is it for us to incorporate fruit in our diet? I mean, we really need to stress this during the show is, how important is it for us to incorporate fruit?
Honestly, incorporating fruits and vegetables are usually the number one thing that I work on with my clients to help improve their kidney health. So it is of the utmost importance to include fruits as well as vegetables in your diet on a regular basis. Really, as much as you can. Like I said, if you're getting in one serving of fruit per meal or snack, then that's something that's going to be really helpful for you to get in those 4 to 5 servings of fruit a day. So it is extremely important to include fruit in your diet on a daily basis.
Absolutely. We had a question here from a person watching the show talking about constipation due to possibly with those that have kidney transplant and on the immunosuppressants. Can immunosuppressants cause issue with going to the bathroom? Do you know that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I always recommend checking with your doctor too for other solutions because, like
Hmm.
you said, we want to make sure your bowel movements are normal. And so it sounds like you might need some help with that. So double check with your doctor, double checked with your dietitian if you have one. Now, immunosuppressants can cause a lot of different side effects. So again, checking with your doctor, asking them, hey, is this really a side effect of this, or is it something else I'm doing? You might need to
Yeah.
dig a little bit deeper into that.
Yeah. And I've never heard of constipation with them, but I've heard of diarrhea with some of them. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's a big one.
yeah. What's a good time of day to eat fruit? Morning, afternoon, evening?
Yeah, that's a great question. So all throughout the day is a great time to eat fruit. Now, like I said, I always recommend with every meal, if you can, to kind of start out with. So when you first wake up in the morning, having some fruit with your breakfast, and then later on in the day, having some fruit with lunch, and then again with dinner can be really helpful. Now, it also depends on what else you're eating with the fruit. So this could be a whole other talk that we do at some point, but when you're controlling your blood sugars, now that is so important for kidney health. You want to make sure that when you have carbohydrate foods, you're also having something else with those carbohydrate foods to help balance out the blood sugars a little more and prevent that blood sugar roller coaster. So sometimes fruit it can be helpful to have something else, like maybe a handful of nuts or maybe a spoonful of peanut butter, or maybe you have some avocado with it or some hummus or a handful of olives, something with healthy fats in them that can help stabilize that blood sugar rise from the carbohydrates in the fruit. And there's so much to that topic, but just know that it can be important to have other things with the fruit and not necessarily just have the fruit alone.
Yeah. A lot of times, if I'm going to eat something that I know maybe a little bit carby or have some, fruit has natural sugars in it,
Yeah.
unless it's got added sugar in some form, maybe in the syrup in a jar or can or whatever. But um, I try to incorporate some form of protein, whether it's like a grilled chicken or something like that has some good protein in it. That way, it kind of helps counteract. But our next question was actually I was going to talk a little bit about exercise and eating fruit. So how can exercise and eating fruit play a vital role in our kidney health?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. And those are two of the most important things for kidney health besides eating vegetables too. So when you exercise, you are doing a couple things for your body. You're getting in physical activity, which is helping to control your blood pressure. It's helping to control blood sugar, cholesterol, and all of those things factor into kidney health. Similarly with the fruit too, you're getting in lots of fiber, you're getting in vitamins and minerals, which are going to help your kidney health. So if you can do, if you decide, okay, I'm going to do 2 things for my kidney health, those 2 things should be get in some exercise or physical activity and eat more fruits and veggies.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. When you're exercising, sometimes I'll carb up a little bit and I'll choose to eat a fruit. And so sometimes I think fruit can be like a healthy carb in some ways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one of the healthiest carbohydrates out there. So even if you are, let's say, on a lower carbohydrate diet recommended by a dietitian or a doctor,
Hmm.
don't forget that fruit. Get that in there because your body needs those minerals and vitamins that's in those fruits. Now, before you do a workout, it could be a good idea to get some extra carbs in there to help fuel your workout. So depending on how long you're working out for, it might be helpful to have maybe a banana before your workout, or maybe like half an apple, or a cup of berries or something like that, that's going to help a little bit to fuel that workout.
Absolutely. I'm diabetic, so I find that if I don't carb up before I go doing something a little strenuous, like, exercise or go for a long walk, if I don't have those extra carbs, sometimes I'll go into low blood sugar. I believe it's hypoglycemia.
Yeah.
And so I have to be careful sometimes, because I am taking medication as well. So if my medication kicks in and I don't have enough carbs in there and I'm out walking or strenuous exercise, if I don't consume some extra carbs, I'll notice my blood sugars will drop and I'll get real shaky and things like that. So I definitely am mindful, and I think fruit is a good go-to for that when you're wanting to carb up before pre-workout. So
yeah, definitely. And you're exactly right. When you exercise or do physical activity, that is naturally going to bring your blood sugars or your blood glucose levels down. So if you're someone who leans more towards the hypoglycemia range, then I would definitely recommend getting in some extra carbs through the fruit.
Mm-hmm. So we had a question here from Kyle from KWM in Toronto, Canada. He says, what about amounts of fruit due to regulated water intake? And I think this is a good question also for those that are on the renal diet. They're also on fluid restriction.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to keep fluids in mind, because you can get hidden fluids from, vegetables, fruit. So let's see, his question again was about the amounts of fruit due to regulated water intake.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. If you are on dialysis, you're likely on a fluid restriction. So sometimes if you happen to go a little overboard with your fruit intake of fruits that are going to be really high water content fruits, sometimes that can contribute to your fluid intake for the day. So some of those fruits that are going to be a little bit higher in water content are going to be watermelon. That's a big one. It's in the name. Strawberries, actually, cantaloupe, peppers, peaches, oranges, cucumbers, celery, lettuce. I'm trying to think of the other ones. I think zucchini, and
Cucumber.
Yep, and tomatoes. And cabbage is another big one too. So all of those, let's say you ate an entire watermelon to yourself, which is totally doable in the summertime. I have tons of clients and friends and family that love watermelon in the summertime. So just be mindful that you might want to cut back a little bit on your fluid intake for the day to account for that extra fluid from the watermelon.
That's great advice. Great advice, especially for kidney patients that are, dealing with fluid restriction, things like that. Because, you always have that hidden fluid that sometimes you're not mindful of. So fruit is definitely one of those. So, Kellsey, it's been a very informative show. Lots of great, information shared here. Why don't you give some patients out there some tips on eating fruit that maybe are just incorporating fruit into their diet, and we'll end the show on that.
Yeah, of course. And it's been such an amazing chat with you. I love chatting about all things kidney related, fruits and veggies related. So this has been so fun. I would say my top tips for everyone out there are to try and include fruits in your diet whenever you can. And also be mindful of your potassium limits for the day. If you need a potassium restriction, stick to the lower potassium fruits that we talked about: apples, pineapple, berries, as well as grapes. Those are going to be the top lowest potassium fruits. If you don't need a potassium restriction, feel free to enjoy other fruits like bananas, tomatoes, avocados, things like that are going to have a little bit more potassium. And also, if you are just trying to eat fruit in general and you're not someone who really likes fruit, stick with fruit that you actually like. You don't need to always vary it up so much. So if you just love cantaloupe and berries and that's all you want to eat, that's perfectly fine. And get in those every single day to get in the beneficial nutrients that are in those fruits. You can try to hide some fruits in smoothies, salads, soups, stews, chili. Those are going to be some really good ways to sneak in fruits when you might not really feel like eating them.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Where can people find you at, Kelsey?
Yeah, so I'm in a couple places. I have a free Facebook group that you can join. It's called CKD Nutrition Free Community. I have recipes on there. I do live chats every week. I'm also on Instagram at ckd.nutrition.coach, as well as TikTok, ckd.nutrition.coach.
Oh yeah, good old TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah, you're actually growing pretty good over there. I've seen you got quite a following on your
Yeah.
Instagram and your TikTok channel. So guys, definitely go check it out. I've actually joined a couple of your meetings that you've had over on Facebook where you're sharing information just like this. So it's always incredible, guys. I definitely would encourage you guys to look her up and check her out. I'll have all of her information in the description on the YouTube video. And you guys, I appreciate everyone for showing up to the channel tonight, supporting Hope with Jonathan. And it's always a pleasure to share information like this right here on Hope with Jonathan. If you guys haven't had a chance to, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. You'll be notified of all of our live content coming your way. And again, guys, I hope you guys stay blessed out there. Take care of your kidneys. God bless.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey guys, have you been over to hopewithjonathan.com? You can actually listen to the audio podcast, watch live streaming interviews, purchase merch to help support Hope with Jonathan podcast, read blogs, and much, much more. For more information on this, go check out hopewithjonathan.com, where we share stories of hope. Hey guys, have you checked out Kidney Conversations, a new series brought to you by host Hope with Jonathan and KWM's Kidney Warrior merch, Kyle Hawkers from Toronto, Canada. Yes, it's a brand new series brought to you by us for you as the kidney patient. We're trying to inform, educate, and inspire by sharing and spreading awareness for kidney disease, dialysis, kidney failure, transplant, organ donation, and so much more. This is a brand new series, guys, brought to you by Hope with Jonathan and Kidney Warrior merch. What we're going to do is post weekly
on our pages across social media. Right now it's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then on Friday, we'll be releasing an informative video over on Hope with Jonathan. Check it out, guys. kidneyconversations.info.